Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Ram 1500 Limited with the Night Edition package. I think this is the coolest version on the Limited. Before we get into this video though, as always, if you're going to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a naturally aspirated 5.7 liter Hemi V8 that's paired to the eTorque system and an 8-speed automatic transmission. The eTorque gives it an extra 130 pound-feet off the line, but the standard outputs on this are 395 horsepower and then 410 pound-feet of torque, with fuel economy being 18 around town and then 22 on the highway. Before we go over the front end, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, you guys can see the really cool venting there on either side, and then we've got our 1500 Hemi eTorque badge here as well. Popping down below, I love the daytime running lights there with the headlights. I think those look really cool. And then look at the front grille, how it's all blacked out with the Ram logo. That's a big part of the Night Edition package, is just blacking pretty much everything out. But then it makes the bumper body painted. We do have fog lights on this truck and then tow hooks as well. And putting it all together, I already love the look of the Limited, but with this Night Edition package, it takes it to a whole nother level. Now coming around the side here, our tire and wheel setup is 285, 45, 22 in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you guys can see the coloration on the wheels. We've got the metallic gray, and the overall design I think looks really good. Now the Limited does come standard with 4-corner air suspension. We've got these really nice body painted fender flares here. Notice the Ram badge blacked out. Mirror caps are actually also blacked out as well. And then here is your full side view on this truck. And with the granite crystal, I think it looks very sharp. Now here's our key fob. We have our unlock function or lock function, the tailgate drop down. This is to drop down the air suspension. Then we have our remote start, and it actually says Limited there on the back of the key fob, which is pretty fancy. So popping into the bed, we have a payload capacity of 1,256 pounds with this truck. And you guys can see we've got LED bed lights here as well. And then look at for the cargo sliders here in the back. Spray and bed liner too. 5'7" box if you guys are wondering. And then yes, this one has the tonneau cover. Now lifting up the tailgate, it's a little bit heavier because this one happens to have the barn door tailgate, which I actually haven't seen in quite some time. It doesn't seem like as many people are ordering this as they used to, but the cool thing is you still get the kick step here. It's just in the center now with the whole barn door set up, and it's pretty easy to put everything back into place. And then a cool little trick for you guys is to know if it's closed or not all the way. Basically you can do that. So if I just put it like this where it's not closed all the way, notice that it will pull it forward and it won't let me pull the tailgate down. Now finishing things up with the rear, you guys can see the taillights, how it's dark there in the center too, which is pretty cool. All our badges here on the back, all blacked out. And look at the exhaust tips there at the bottom. Towing capacity is right around 11,000 pounds if you have a 392 axle ratio. And then finishing things up with the rest of the rear, again, I think it's a very sharp looking pickup truck. Now taking a look at the door panel, we've got really nice leather trim, wood trim, and embroidery. It's just a very nice looking panel overall, and we have power side steps. Now the Limited also gives you these really nice leather seats. You can see perforated all down the center, but then you have a cowhide texture here on the side, which I think looks great. And then we do have some underseat storage. We've got these Limited floor mats with ice buckets. And then here's our legroom in the back. You guys can see we've got a little pocket right there for some storage. And then we've got wood trim here. We've got heated and cooled seats with some USBs and then a full power outlet. And then headroom back here is also really good. And you guys can see we have this center console with some cup holders here. Now taking a look at the front door panel, it's identical to the rear with all the material use and everything. Front two windows are automatic. Mirrors do power fold in. You've got memory seat function, blind spot monitoring with the mirrors as well. And then this one has the Harman Kardon sound system, which I always recommend you get. And then here's the front seat, really nice leather, notice perforated all down the center portion. And then we have our power adjustments here on the side. Power adjustable pedals here with our parking brake. You guys can see light controls with the fog light and then the cargo light. And then the steering wheel itself is manually adjustable. Now taking a look at the steering wheel itself, you guys can see wood trim here at the top, and then you can see the leather trim all around with the stitching in the center, and then more wood trim there at the bottom. Something to note for 23, this has been deleted, so that is something to mention. And then you guys can see here we've got regular cruise control with our adaptive cruise control gear limiter, voice command controls, controls for the center stack, radio controls on the back as well. Now you notice this has the analog gauge cluster. This is actually a 22. I don't know why Ram sent me out a 22 instead of a 23, but the only changes are the wood trim at the top of the steering wheel, and then the gauge cluster is digital for 23 instead of this analog gauge cluster. But a lot of people let me know that they preferred this one. I still kind of like the digital one a little bit more. You guys can see fuel economy, by the way, with the eTorque. That's real world driving, highway, city, all that kind of stuff. Now in reverse, we do have a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel, and then we've got all of our other camera viewpoints, so full 360 camera system here with the limited, and it's cool that you can even see with the sides on the cameras. Now as for the infotainment system itself, this has the 12-inch display. We've got a shortcut bar here at the bottom. Response time with that is actually really solid. I like how it's like cowhide texture there for the background of the screen. I've never actually noticed that before. Wow. Anyways though, really good response time. We've got good features, well, luxury features rather, like heated and cooled seats, heated steering wheel, dual zone climate, you know, all the normal works. Now with the Limited, you get really nice leather trim all over the dash, again, Harman Kardon, and then look like the wood trim here, little 12 volt there at the top as well. And then we've got our lane departure parking assist as well. Dual zone climate controls on the other side, radio controls as well. And then parking sensors here with our tow haul mode, stability control, and then notice for the air suspension to raise and lower it. Trailer steering system, trailer brake controls on top of that. And then here's our dial shifter for the 8-speed automatic. We do have our 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel low, 4-wheel high, and then 4-wheel auto, as well as our auto stop start and our axle lock. Now I've got these center console here. It says Limited on it, and really good storage space overall. Nice little measuring chart. And then this does slide backwards and forwards. Got some nice wood trim on it, and then we have our wireless phone charging pad. We got some USB action, and then we actually have a full power outlet in here as well. Now I got the double glove box situation here, and you guys can see it says Limited there on the outside and looks very nice. So you guys can see we've got the rear view camera mirror, power sliding window with this truck as well, and then all black headliner. Now here's a window sticker for this truck. You guys can see base MSRP there, and then this one has quite a few options added to it. This one does have the 392 axle ratio, so that's good to know. But here's the MSRP on this one. Total MSRP $78,770. I think if you ordered the same truck for 23, you're going to be like just over $80,000 now. I might be off a little bit on the pricing, but anyways, let's see how the Limited drives and talk about my experience living with it. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood. Hope you can now see the heads-up display. Both the mirrors do have blind spot monitoring, and then through the rear. And let's set off. Okay, so setting off here in the Ram 1500 Limited, and I've been living with this for about a week. Apparently, I can't talk though. And you know, it's been a very pleasant experience. I miss having a Ram after living with this for a week because I love the interior on this truck so much. It's still the nicest truck interior out there. You know, Ford's definitely made some improvements. GM's made some improvements, you know, with the GMC Sierra Denali Ultimate, and Ford has the new F-150 Platinum and F-150 Limited, but still just they for some reason can't beat Ram in design and material use. Still has more leather, and frankly I think the, you know, look of this interior it just looks better than the other two. Although I will say I like Ford's like swoopy window, how it swoops down. That's something that I've always been a big fan of. But let's first get our acceleration here with this 5.7 Hemi. Lost traction there a little bit. So that happens when you get a 392 axle ratio. This thing, it's fast. I forgot how like powerful the Hemi is. You know, I think we're all waiting for the Hurricane engine to come out, but like this Hemi is such a good powertrain, especially if you get it, you know, e-torqued or with the 392 axle ratio. It's strong. So, you know, as an overall vehicle, I think this is actually a really good vehicle. So like, I think it looks great, especially with this night edition package. The interior is really nice with this Limited package. And I know that a lot of people are gonna be like, you know, $80,000 for a half-ton truck. Yes, that's a lot of money. But this truck also does a lot of stuff. Now, yes, it doesn't have the highest payload capacity, 1,200 something pounds, not the greatest, so that does limit you quite a bit. But I mean, it's still relatively capable, especially considering the towing capacity, right, is in that close to 11,000 pound range. But again, if you tow 11,000 pounds with this, then you're not really gonna be able to put a lot in the truck, because you're gonna max out the payload pretty quickly there. So relatively capable pickup truck. It also doubles as a really good luxury vehicle as well, and that's the thing that I really want to emphasize. Like, there are plenty of luxury cars that are as expensive as this and even more expensive than this, right? And they aren't nearly as like capable as this, right? Like look at, I know any luxury SUV, like a BMW X5, for example, right? You can easily spend over $100,000 on a BMW X5. And you know, I would say this interior is just as nice. And this can tow things. You've got a bed so you can haul things. And this has more space inside than a BMW X5. Like you get in the back seat of this, you can recline those seats, and you've got just tons of room back there. And so it's just like a more practical family vehicle. So like it's expensive, but it also has a lot of utility to it. And so I really like the Ram Limited. I think this, you know, if you're looking for basically a can-do-everything type vehicle, again, a family vehicle, a luxury vehicle, and a pickup truck, the Ram Limited combines all of that in one. Let me know what you guys think.